Have you ever wondered how your mind perceives the world? The human brain, a marvel of evolution, constantly processes an overwhelming amount of sensory information, filtering and interpreting it to create our unique perception of the world. Understanding this intricate process is essential for navigating the complexities of life, building meaningful relationships, and making sound judgments. In this exploration of perception, we will journey into the depths of the human mind, uncovering the fascinating ways our senses can both illuminate and deceive us. Imagine yourself strolling through a bustling city park. Sunlight warms your skin as the gentle breeze carries the laughter of children playing and the melodic tunes of a street musician. Your senses are bombarded with a symphony of stimuli. Your eyes capture the vibrant colors of blooming flowers and the graceful movements of a dog chasing pigeons. Your ears process the varied soundscape, creating a tapestry of urban life. But how does this sensory input become a meaningful experience? That, my friends, is the process of perception. At its core, perception is the brain's intricate dance of organization and interpretation. It's the process of taking in raw sensory data and transforming them into a coherent and meaningful understanding of the world around you. Think of it like this. Your senses are like a 1,000-piece jigsaw puzzle scattered across a table. Each piece, a piece of sensory information. Perception is the process of meticulously assembling those pieces, using your brain's vast knowledge and experience as a guide to reveal the complete picture. Our brains are incredible pattern-recognizing machines. It's a survival mechanism honed over millennia that allows us to quickly categorize information. But this evolutionary advantage comes at a cost, the tendency to stereotype. Stereotyping simplifies the social world by attributing characteristics to groups. This can lead to profound misunderstandings and injustices. Stereotypes divide us, fostering prejudice and discrimination. Let us strive to see each other for the complex individuals we truly are. Imagine meeting someone for the first time. They're well-dressed, articulate, and possess a warm, engaging smile. You find yourself drawn to their positive energy, and without even realizing it, you start attributing other favorable qualities to them: intelligence, kindness, trustworthiness. This, my friends, is the halo effect in action. The halo effect, a fascinating quirk of human perception, illustrates how a single positive trait can cast a glowing aura over our entire perception of a person. Like a celestial halo illuminating a saintly figure, this positive trait can blind us to their flaws or shortcomings. While the halo effect can lead us to overestimate the virtues of others, it's important to remember that everyone, even those who appear flawless, has their share of strengths and weaknesses. By recognizing the power of the halo effect, we can cultivate a more balanced perspective, one that acknowledges both the good and the bad, the light and the shadow, that exists within us all. Just as a single positive trait can create a halo, a single negative trait can cast a long, dark shadow, obscuring our perception of an individual. This is the horn effect, the flip side of the halo effect, and it's equally influential in shaping our judgments. Imagine this. You're at a restaurant and your server is having a bad day. They're curt, forgetful, and seem generally disinterested. The horn effect kicks in, and suddenly you might find yourself questioning their other qualities. Are they incompetent, lazy, untrustworthy? The horn effect, like its halo counterpart, highlights the human tendency to generalize from limited information. By recognizing the horn effect, we can strive for greater fairness and objectivity in our judgments. Instead of allowing one negative trait to overshadow an individual's entire character, let us cultivate empathy, seek understanding, and remember that everyone makes mistakes. We live in a world overflowing with information. Our senses are bombarded with stimuli, sights, sounds, smells, tastes, and textures. Our brains filter information, focusing on some while ignoring others. This selective attention can lead to selective perception. We favor information that confirms our beliefs, ignoring contradictory data. Imagine two people watching the same news report. Each focuses on arguments that align with their views. Seeking diverse perspectives can mitigate selective perception. The human mind is a fascinatingly complex organ, and one of its most intriguing tendencies is projection. Projection, in the realm of psychology, refers to the unconscious act of attributing our own thoughts, feelings, motivations, and even shortcomings onto others. Imagine you're feeling insecure about a recent presentation at work. You might start to perceive your colleagues as being overly critical or judgmental, projecting your own insecurities onto their behavior. Projection often stems from our inability or unwillingness to acknowledge certain aspects of ourselves. While projection can be a defense mechanism, a way to protect our ego from uncomfortable truths, it can also lead to misunderstandings and conflict in our relationships. By becoming aware of our own projections, by taking ownership of our thoughts and feelings, we can develop greater self-awareness and build more authentic connections with others. By understanding the mechanism of projection, we can begin to distinguish between what's truly out there and what's simply a reflection of our own inner world. We live in a world obsessed with first impressions. From job interviews to first dates, we have a limited window to make a good impression. But what makes first impressions so powerful? The answer lies in our brain's wiring. Our brains rapidly process appearance, body language, and subtle cues. We make snap judgments that are hard to change. This is rooted in our evolutionary past. Our ancestors quickly assessed strangers for survival, recognized the limits of first impressions, and be open to revising them. Our memories, contrary to popular belief, are not infallible recording devices. They are malleable, constantly being reshaped and rewritten by our experiences, emotions, and even the passage of time. One fascinating quirk of memory is the recency effect, the tendency for our brains to give more weight to recent information compared to information encountered earlier. Imagine you're reading a book, engrossed in a captivating story. You reach the final chapter, and the author delivers a shocking plot twist, leaving you breathless with surprise. As you close the book, the ending, still fresh in your mind, overshadows the hundreds of pages that came before it. The recency effect has a profound impact on our decision-making processes. When faced with a choice, we're more likely to be swayed by information presented recently, even if it's less important or relevant than earlier information. When making important decisions, it's crucial to consider all available information, not just the most recent, to avoid falling prey to this cognitive bias. We humans have an innate desire to be right. We crave information that validates our beliefs and reinforces our worldview. This need for confirmation leads to a cognitive bias known as confirmation bias. It's the tendency to seek out and remember information that confirms our beliefs. We might seek out news that supports our stance, avoiding content that challenges us. By seeking diverse perspectives and cultivating intellectual humility, we can break free from echo chambers. Our perceptions, far from being objective reflections of reality, are constantly being shaped by the context in which they occur. One fascinating example of this is the contrast effect, a cognitive bias that highlights how our perceptions are influenced by comparisons to recent experiences or stimuli. Imagine you're shopping for a new car. You've been test driving vehicles in the $20,000 range and they all seem reasonably priced. Then the salesperson, a master of persuasion, guides you to a more luxurious model, priced at $40,000. Suddenly, the cars in your price range seem much less appealing, their flaws magnified in comparison to the luxury model. The contrast effect highlights the relativity of perception, the idea that our judgments are not absolute but rather shaped by the context in which they occur. By recognizing the power of the contrast effect, we can cultivate greater awareness of our own biases and make more informed decisions. As we've journeyed through the landscape of human perception, we've uncovered illusions, biases, and pitfalls that distort our reality. From stereotypes to first impressions, from the recency effect to confirmation bias, our minds are bombarded with cognitive shortcuts shaping our judgments. This exploration is a call to awareness, an invitation to question our assumptions and cultivate critical thinking. By doing so, we see the world with greater clarity. We can use self-awareness to see past illusions, uncovering the richness of the world around us. Perception shapes our reality and interactions. By understanding it, we can build a more just society,